Welcome. Thank you guys for joining. I'd like to especially give a shout out to the marketing organizations that invited you guys here. Today, we're going to talk about Manhattan Life and their Medicare supplement product and go into some details about the Medicare supplement market that you guys might not be aware of, and then all the reasons that you should be looking at least adding Manhattan Life to your Medicare supplement portfolio. So I would ask if you would real quick to complete the polls as I put them up. It will kind of help me guide the way I'm going to present to you guys based on the audience. And looking at it right now, about 1/3 of you guys are seasoned veterans. The other 67% are relatively new in the Medicare supplement market. That kind of helps me understand the talking points that I'm going to give you guys as we go through. So I'm going to leave this poll up for another minute or so for this while the stragglers are coming on, and then we'll move on to two other polls that'll ask for you quickly. So a little bit about me. My name is Ted Sims. I've been in this business about going into my 23rd year. I've sold Medicare supplements for about 20 of those years. I did actually spend 10 years out in the field selling Medicare supplements, specifically to seniors, as my only source of income. So I know this market pretty well. I'm going to cite a lot of experience that I have while I was dealing with clients out in the field, and kind of think that helps some of the newer people in there and maybe helps give some ideas to some of the seasoned veterans out there too. You know, my specific job with this company has been traveling around, to put it more simplistic, I'm kind of here to educate on behalf of those marketing organizations that sent you guys here, agents, on number one, what a Medicare supplement is when it comes to those series. And I have some of those series coming up. Number two, how different products fit into the market for you guys. And, some of you guys may have seen me out live in person at some of these marketing organizations that have sent you here. Some of you may have participated in some of the training series I've done in the past. I do about 3 webinars a week, lots of different topics, lots of different companies, why you'd want to sell each one of them, where they fit in your market. And then some especially intriguing stuff for you, those of you guys that are brand new to this business. In fact, starting in July, I have a 3-part series, Mastering the Mystery of Medicare Supplements, that will really be beneficial if you haven't sold Medicare supplements, you're looking to get into the market, you've sold for about a year. There's a lot of valuable information in there for you guys. It's targeted more towards, somebody really who's not been in this market at all, or maybe sells Medicare Advantage, wants to get over. So enough promotion and everything else there. Again, the last piece of this, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll, and I'm going to start one more. Actually 2 more with you guys. But again, I would like to definitely encourage you guys to reach out to the marketing organizations that sent you here. They're very valuable. I know I've known these guys, gals, for over 20 years and done business with these guys for over 20 years, especially those you guys newer in this business. They offer an awful lot of resources, tools. We're going to talk about some free tools that you can get access to today by contracting with those guys. They have trainings available for you on the newer side. It's in their best interest to help you guys grow your business, and they want to help you guys do that. So again, shout out to those guys. Appreciate you guys coming on here and joining this webinar today. So first and foremost, before we dive into Manhattan Life and all that they have to offer, I'd like to kind of talk a little bit with you guys on the 30,000-foot view of the opportunity for you guys. So, you've all probably had 10,000 seniors turning 65 a day beating down your throats for quite a long time. The fact of the matter is that's not going away anytime soon. And the opportunity is humongous. So it's absolutely anything you want at your fingertips. If you apply yourself, you go out there and sell to this market, you're going to make a really good living. And it's one of the easiest businesses to get into as far as, low barrier to entry. It's a really easy product to learn. So opportunity is huge. So let's just take a look at today. There's approximately 66 million Medicare beneficiaries, those people that have Part A and B of Medicare. that need something more than original Medicare to fill those gaps, the Medicare leaves them. I mean, let's face it, Medicare pays, excuse me, 80%. The customer, the client or consumer is on the hook for 20% of the rest of those charges. If you ever looked at some of those things, there's a day one deductible of hospitalization that's big, but long story short, 20% of a $50,000 hospital bill is $10,000 going back to your client. They really need to do something to protect themselves. You have two great options, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplements. Today, we're really going to talk about the Medicare Supplement piece with Manhattan. But looking forward, 66 million here. By the time you get out to 2031, there's 79 million Medicare beneficiaries. So realistically, from last year till then, it's approximately just under 18 million consumers who are going to enroll in Medicare, and they're going to need an agency like yourself to go out there and give them, all of the details on why they want these products to protect their assets. So this graph here may actually surprise a lot of you, but according to Telos Actuarial, some of the information that they pulled, 32% of the market is going to likely purchase a Medicare supplement. I think a lot of agents out there don't realize that the market is that large. I mean, Medicare Advantage, great market. 1 out of 2 consumers is going to jump on a Medicare Advantage type plan. I do know personally a lot of agents that only sell one product or the other out there. And I want to point out, if you're only selling one or the other, you are absolutely missing a huge opportunity as you go. But, talking about the Medicare supplements, 1 out of 3 of them is going to purchase a Medicare supplement. So, the opportunity on that, on the 18 million that are coming into the market is actually very large and a great opportunity for you guys. So just want to make sure you guys realize what's coming for you in this market. So let's talk about a little bit of the demographics of who a Medicare supplement client is really quick, because, I found this actually really interesting to me. And actually, let me go back here one point real quick on this slide. I talked about if you're only selling one product or the other, let me talk real quick about how much that's a disservice to your clients. And I don't want to insult anybody on this call, because when I first started, I didn't do this either. I've always been on this side of the fence, mainly because I don't want to jump through the certifications and everything else that goes along with Medicare Advantage. But I had a partner that I turned all that business over to. So, I talked about both products, but why I came back here is, if you are not discussing or basically using a needs analysis questionnaire, and if you don't know what that is, again, I beg you guys to go back to the marketing organizations that sent you here. They have hundreds of them for you. But what that does is uncovers really the true needs of what your client has. It does a deeper dive into their health history. You want to find out the history of cancer, things like that. But when you're done with that needs analysis, if you've had a good conversation with your clients, you're going to figure out realistically which product is going to be a best fit for them. In fact, I was talking to an agent the other day, and they were talking about they always offer Medicare Advantage first. And I was like, why is that? And not to diss anybody or go into their information, but I understood their rationale. But I turned around and asked them, are you doing a needs analysis? Because if you did, you wouldn't offer either one until you got finished with that. And then you would offer the product that fits best. So 1 out of 3 is going to do that. And I want to make sure you guys are not the agents that your client goes out there and says, oh, well, my agent never even talked to me about Medicare Supplement or Medicare Advantage. First agent that comes along and talks to them about it, you're going to lose credibility and you're probably going to lose a client. So again, I'll stress, get back with your marketing organizations, get on board with the needs analysis. Once I started using it, a couple of years after I started, my income tripled really quickly too. So we'll talk through that opportunity here on the next slide. But here's a look at your actual breakdown of what a likely Medicare supplement client might look like. First and foremost, 50% of them are going to earn over $75,000 a year. So a little bit more wealthy. That there's also 50% that makes less than $75,000. But just so you know, roughly 50% of them are going to make more than $75,000. There's some very wealthy clients in this pool also. The next thing that stands out about what a typical Medicare supplement client looks like, 48% of them have a 4-year degree or more. So they're 1 out of 2 is going to be an educated person. The other two pieces, and then we're going to talk about what this really means to you. 84% of them own a home. That's probably to be expected considering that they're seniors. Hopefully they're retired. And the other piece of this is 62% of them have 2 people living in the household. So when you look at this, it's more of a just kind of a picture of stereotyping really what your client is going to look like. But if you really break this down, let's talk about this. Let's look at this piece right here, this piece right here, and this piece right here. What that means to you guys is, number one, if you're not educating them, 1 out of 2 of them are already going to be educated. They're going to want to educate themselves on everything that's available. That goes back to that needs analysis. But number 2, this right here and this right here, number one, this offers you an opportunity on ancillary sales to increase your own business through whatever products it is that you want to offer your clients. And we kind of know, or if you've been in this business selling, seasoned veteran, you're going to know which products go with which. Medicare Advantage, hospital indemnity goes hand in hand. Medicare supplement, dental, vision, hearing, cancer plans goes pretty much with everything. But the opportunity is there for you guys if you're using a needs analysis, if you're having a conversation with your clients while you're taking care of their health needs. Because again, your due diligence for your clients is to make sure that you are protecting them with everything you possibly can, because you'd hate for your client to come, I never knew about a cancer plan or whatever later on. And again, I'm not here to bash you guys. I just want to make sure you guys are fully aware of the tools that are available out there to you guys. So definitely take full advantage of talking in depth with your clients while you're making these sales. So let's talk a little bit about who purchases a Medicare supplement. And I'm not going to go through this chart, way too much data on here for you guys. There's a great opportunity for you to do a screenshot on your PC or take a picture on your phone if you find this relevant. But, the number one reason is really they want unfettered access to any hospital or doctor out there. It's funny to say this, it's not really funny, but over the last years, when Medicare Advantage plans come along, and I'm not knocking them at all, but I have heard clients directly say to me, I don't want to have to ask permission. I don't want to have to raise my hand to see if I can go to the doctor that I want to go to. I spent more time on the Medicare supplement side. So, those clients that I dealt with are definitely in this bucket. The other one is they want all medical bills paid for. If you're not familiar with how Medicare supplement plans work, the real quick and simple is they pay a premium, they may pay a deductible, and sometimes they pay a copay if they pick a plan that has copays. Otherwise, everything is paid for. So they pay a premium, they pay a small yearly $200 deductible. They have a $100,000 hospital bill. The only responsibility they have is that $200 deductible. This plan works great for seniors in that as far as the most comprehensive coverage. They also want unrestricted access to specialists. Again, they want the most comprehensive. They want to go see that cancer specialist, that Parkinson's specialist. They don't have to ask for referrals. Those are really the top 3 reasons that your clients would opt for a Medicare supplement over a Medicare Advantage plan. And again, I'm not going to break down the rest of these stats, but those are important reasons for clients choosing a Medicare supplement. I will also mention to you guys, when I was building my block of business, there were 3 roadblocks, so to speak, when I would talk to a client about a Medicare supplement. The biggest 2 were the rates. And then the other thing that would always come up is my Medicare supplement does everything it's supposed to do. I don't want to change. Well, that's the great thing about Medicare supplements. Every single one of them does exactly the same. There's no back end work. They don't have to file any claims. So, get comfortable with those obstacles and overcoming them when you're talking to your clients. So let's talk about who Manhattan Life is for you guys. I do have to pause for 1 second. I need to go ahead and get my next poll up for you guys real quick. the poll asking you guys if you presented Manhattan Life, Family Life, Mac, any of those companies are all basically the same family. So I do appreciate you guys throwing this out there. So let's talk about who Manhattan Life is. I'll tell you my personal history with Manhattan Life. They were the second carrier I ever wrote. I wrote them back in, I don't know, early 2000s. And I've done business with them for 22 years. What really turned me on to them, well, I don't want to steal my thunder. I'll tell you when we get to that portion of the thing, but I've done a lot of business with them. They're headquartered in Houston, Texas, a great little company to work with for you guys. They were founded in 1850, and they're one of the oldest and most reliable in the country. They are reinsured by one of the largest, nation's leading reinsurance carriers. I can't speak today, forgive me. They are a B plus AM Best rating. I know sometimes if you have E&O insurance, some of them that will only allow you to do business with a or better carrier. There is nothing wrong with B carriers, but I understand if you've got E&O that blocks you that way. I fully understand. I've done business with a lot of great B carriers out there through my life, and there's never a problem. In fact, just so you guys know, they're all reinsured through the State Guarantee Association, so there's never any risk to your clients. For just future reference for you. It's not something you say to your clients, but it is a valid point. So product highlights. Let's talk in depth a little bit here, and this is where I'll talk about why I was writing for them. First and foremost, they have a very expansive nationwide footprint. This map is actually a little bit outdated. California and Oregon are also active. In fact, they're writing an awful lot of this business out there. But they have a very, very extensive footprint. You're going to find that there's a few different company names that they do business in. Some of them is Manhattan Assurance Company. They have a couple of different carrier names that they use out there, but your marketing organization, again, can make sure you're hooked up with the right one. Everywhere you see on here in green plus Oregon and California, you're going to have access to their product offering. Number two, their household discount. They have a 7% spousal or roommate discount. It is a one policy discount, so both spouse and husband do not have to apply to get it. The only difference is if it's a spouse, there's no age restriction, as long as they're living with them. If it is a roommate, a significant other, whatever you want to call it, that person must be 60 or older. That's the only qualification in order to take advantage of the one policy discount. And the other thing is they have an efficient e-app with security question signature option. When I talked about the writing business for Manhattan years and years and years ago, this was the first thing that turned me on to them. And they have one of the best e-apps out there on the market for you guys. But what really got me started was back in the early 2000s, once it wasn't that early, but when they finally got the e-app security question, if you're not familiar with it, basically they ask in order to get the signature for the application, a security question, be it mother's maiden name, something like that, a keyword that you want to give. That way you could sell this product over the phone. They were one of the first ones to offer that. And I really loved that feature when I was writing back then. A lot of times I was still sitting at a kitchen table with a client getting all the information, but I could go back to my office and plug it in with their mother's maiden name and submit the e-app right then and there. It's already uploaded, makes for faster underwriting, everything else if you have to do all of that stuff. So they have a great e-app process. Most everybody has one now that's that way, but I wanted to highlight they're one of the pioneers, and that's why they're kind of near and dear to my heart. I've done business with them for many years. Underwriting highlights. The typical stuff, they go a little bit further back than some go 2, some go 5, but they want to take a 5-year look back on heart issues. And, I understand it. Again, they've got really good rates. Companies want to protect those good rates in different way. They want to look 5 years back on the heart question. They do a typical 3-year look back on cancer. If you're not familiar with how all that works, they basically are asking you, have you been diagnosed with or treated for any of these ailments in the last 5 years? As a new agent, make sure you guys are aware that also includes medications for. So if they're taking a cancer med, they're taking, certain meds depending on what the thing is. And this is the big one. And I'd like to educate, especially those of you guys newer in the business. Every company out there kind of acts the same way here. But first, let's talk specifically about what MAC does. They do take diabetics. They can have 2 diabetic meds or insulin and 2 blood pressure medications allowed. Now, a lot of times, and I learned this the hard way, I was bad about this when I first started writing, so I'm trying to save some of you guys the pain that I went through. This is where you can get in trouble on a lot of carriers' applications, no matter who it is. They're going to take a long, hard look at your diabetic clients that you're trying to submit on underwriting. So, what I mean by that is because there's a couple of things that you guys should be aware of and look for when you're talking to your clients. Medication changes. If they have increased insulin and their blood pressure medications are changing, or their whatever diabetic meds they're taking are changing and increasing in dosage, and adding multiple blood pressures and all of that, that's a huge red flag that you're probably not going to catch on the normal standardized quick underwriting, health questions that you have to do. What that means to the underwriter is they're not taking care of their diabetes, and they're going to take a long, hard look at it. And if there's any gray area or they don't feel good about it, they're going to decline it. And that's not just Manhattan. That's everybody out there. Because I ran into this years ago before I was writing Manhattan. And then again with Manhattan, and it took me, I guess I'm a hard learner. It took me about 2 years to realize what was going on there, why I was turning in these applications with different carriers with all no's on the health questions, thinking, great, I've got another policy on the books, growing this business, and low to find out decline. So just kind of make sure you guys are aware of that as you go forward. So I'm not going to read this big list. This is I'm going to highlight a couple of things. If you'd like to screenshot this, this is an opportunity to do it. I will take a couple of questions, or not questions, but take a couple of points and highlight them here. One of these, actually, I don't know why that's repeated on here. I guess I double typed, but one of these is any pending surgery, medical test, treatment, or therapy. This one's a big one again. Depending on what they may have for upcoming testing and whatnot, this one could actually trip you up too. And I've had this one come up mid underwriting while I'm going through it for a client where they forgot they're getting ready to have testing done for something else. So depending on what it is, if it's a routine test, that's something that they're not going to worry about. But if they have a chronic, they're having testing done on their knees because maybe they have to have their knees replaced or whatever it is, that's a big one to hang you up on. And just wanted to mention that one. And then I already talked in depth about the diabetes piece, but these are good ones to know. There is one other one here that, again, I was a hard learner. I never realized the way companies treat this when I first started writing. I know it well now, but any medication administered in a doctor's office, I talk to clients that are getting vitamin D shots, things like that. As silly as it sounds, some companies will decline them for that. So you need to make sure you understand and talk to the underwriters, look in the underwriting guides of every company really that you're doing. But, MAC does not want any medication that's administered in a physician's office. If they're going in getting shots for cataracts, whatever it is, they're probably going to decline it. Some companies' stances on the vitamin Ds are different than others. So make sure you reach out. I don't remember where MAC falls in that one anymore. Agent experience. Again, I talked about why I started doing business with Manhattan back in the day, and they are a great company to deal with. I mentioned they have a simplistic app. I mean, they don't make it overloaded. They don't make it a busy e-app process for you. You can go check out all of your enrollments that are right there. Everything that you need is right there in front of you. It's really simplistic for you. In fact, they have tools available for you where it tells you you've got policies that are potentially going to lapse, things like that. So you can take good care of your clients once you get them on. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. And then we're going to move on forward. So one other thing, and all the Manhattan Life already has a competitive commission for you. But in addition to that, every single application you write, once you qualify, you can get additional money on top of it for you. So theirs, I believe, is 3. This is getting ready to end at the end of June. But if you write 3 policies in any given month, it'll retro back to the first policy. And for every underwritten case, meaning you submitted underwritten business, you asked the health questions. For those of you who are newer in this, you get $100 for on top of your commission. If they're open enrollment, you get $50. And I'm going to pause for 1 second, throw up another poll. I've got 2 more to go, and then I won't harass you anymore with those. But the other one is $50 on open enrollment, and I kind of wanted to talk through that for you guys new. That's the 6-month window when clients first go on Medicare. There are no health questions asked for them, so that underwritten piece does not apply. So there's basically 2 categories for you guys there. That's really in a nutshell what Manhattan has to offer. But I'd like to talk to you, a little bit further on why you really should put Manhattan into your toolkit. Me, again, when I go back to what I was selling, because that's what I have to base experience on. But, I was one of those agents that wanted to have lots of options for my clients. I don't take every single Medicare supplement carrier out there. That'd be ridiculous. But I always had probably 15 in my toolkit for me. Manhattan's always in my toolkit now. I still sell Manhattan actively. I was selling it as my lead company a couple of years ago again. It's my first product that I was leading out there. It's still a strong piece of my portfolio every single day in Georgia. But I mentioned that because you definitely want to make sure you have multiple carriers that you can offer your clients based on rates. There's also different health questions that are available. So, no one single company is going to be the end all for all of your Medicare supplement clients. Guys, I did add the last poll for you, but no one company is going to be the one carrier fits all for everybody you guys have. So again, this is a great piece that will fill a need for a lot of your clients. And with that, again, I would like to one last time beg you guys to reach out to the marketing organization that sent you, learn about all the tools they offer you. They have free tools. They have free CSG rate quoting. If you contract with Manhattan Life, you have access to this. The CSG piece is great. They also have free call recording for you so you can meet Medicare Advantage CMS compliance regulations. A lot of agents are not set up to do that. This is free to you, and it's hosted on a platform where you can keep those calls for 10 years, whatever the CMS compliance rules are for you. And they have numerous other tools available for you, training available for you, needs analysis available for you. They can help you really, really, really grow your business. I've known these guys and gals over 22 years, and they have a real desire to help agents like I do. I mean, my whole presentation here, I want to help you guys learn from things I made a mistake on, learn from this market. So having said all that, I really hope you guys enjoyed my webinar today. I do greatly appreciate you guys showing up, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And please look for any of the upcoming webinars I have. Have a great day.